Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's Facecast. Sorry I've got the collar on, but I've got a service later on, and it's a habit to put it on first thing. Anyway, this morning we're in Philippians, looking at a very short verse that comes at the end of quite a long passage. Let me explain. The verse is this: it's Philippians chapter 4, verse 19. And my God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. And my God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. When a verse starts with "and," it must mean that something has gone before it. So when you read Philippians and you read chapter 4 of Philippians, and this comes right at the end of chapter 4, right towards the end of the letter itself, St. Paul has been talking to this church in Philippi and saying that they have been discharging their duties really very well. It's somewhat unusual for St. Paul to be complimenting a church. He's usually wagging his finger at them and telling them off. But here he's saying they've done exceedingly well in what they should be doing, how they should be living. And he quotes the example of how they've been supplying him with his needs. He says to them, I know what it's like to live in plenty. I've had plenty given to me. I also know what it's like to live in poverty, because he's been very poor at times and under great strain and stress at times. So he knows the different sides of life. And he's saying to them that they've done exceedingly well in looking after one another and looking after those they ought to be caring for. Indeed, they've been looking after him very well. They've supplied him with his needs, him having spent some time with them and spent some time teaching them. And because of that, because of what they've done, he said, therefore, and God will meet all of your needs also, he's saying, according to his glorious riches. So what this points out to us is this, well, it's a three-way bond between God and us and other people. We give to God in our ministry. We give to God in our lives. We give to God by our service. We might do that by looking after people around us, helping those who are poor perhaps. We do that through our taxes. We do that through our giving at church. We do that through the charity giving that we do. We also look after people personally, physically, by getting their shopping for them, checking up on them, seeing they're okay. We look after others around us, and we also look after those who supply our needs. So if we can go to a doctor and a doctor helps us, then we pay his wages through the taxation system and all things like that. So we look after others, and they in turn look after us. That's us working out something we would call the covenant relationship that we have with God. We put him first and serving him and serving those around us, and we in turn have our needs met. We are kept safe in our beds at night because we have a police service. We can have our rubbish collected from our doorstep because we have a rubbish collection service. We have the wonderful National Health Service, which is provided for us by our giving to the general pot that we call taxation. This is a way of the gospel being worked out in our lives. And it's a glorious and wonderful thing. We take it for granted these days that we have this, but many countries in the world do not have these riches, which is why many people want to get on small boats and make their way through perilous seas to our shores, because they know this is a place that has a really excellent way of living, one that we're trying to keep and preserve as best as we can by all these lockdown measures that are being imposed upon us, and rightly so at the moment. So there's this continuous connection, a covenant relationship, putting God first, putting other people first, and then our needs being met also. It's a great example of how we should live our lives. You'll see it in the letter to the Philippians, where Paul talks to them and encourages them to continue living the Christian life. And that's what we must do, isn't it? Continue to live the Christian life. Have a good day. Bye for now.